Yeah, g'day, how's it going? Ezra Hansen here. Um, Welcome once again to another YouTube video. Today I want to talk to you about something that I find really important, and that's introducing people into hunting and shooting, and also making making a way for people to enjoy the sport even if they've been in it for years. One thing that I've learned over the last sort of 8 or 9 years is that sometimes you don't need the flashiest equipment so that you can get out and go hunting. Like we've all got those mates that have the $3,000 rifles and the $3,000 scope and so on and so forth. And while that stuff is good, like I have some quite pricey guns. I have high quality guns. Some of them have high quality optics. But something I'm passionate about is the entry level firearms that are worth having. Just something that'll get you off the ground with your hunting. And the way that I really got into hunting was when I was younger with my dad. We used to go rabbit shooting, possum hunting, goat hunting, things like that. We used to go away on the weekends and we'd go camping. We'd shoot a rabbit and we'd cook it up over the fire with a piece of number 8 wire and things like that. And I think one thing that really holds people back from hunting is the thought that they have to spend a lot of money. Especially with small game hunting, the ideal firearm I find is the 22 LR. I'm a huge fan of it. There are fancier calibers out there like the 22 Magnum, the 17 HMR, or now there's the 17 Winchester Super Magnum, which does look pretty cool, but they're all expensive, like as far as ammo goes, when you compare it to the 22. So, one rifle in particular that I want to talk about that I think you should consider if you're thinking about buying your first 22, or maybe you have a teenager that has just got their firearms license, or a friend that wants to get into hunting. One firearm that I think that you can't pass up is the Mossberg 702 Plankster semi-auto 22 LR. This rifle has a sort of a patchy reputation. Some people love it, some hate it, but most of the people that hate it haven't ever actually owned one. They haven't used one. They just look at the price and they go, oh, that can't be any good. But one thing before I go any further, this rifle, as you can see, it's empty, no magazine in it, so we're completely safe here. So I think the first thing that is a real attractant of this is actually the price. You can get these, my local gun shop, Shooters World, Gore, they have these as a bear rifle for $299, and they have it as a package with a scope. Not this one here, but like a 4x32 or something. I think for about $350 to $370-ish. So I think the value is really high on these. When you compare it to, say, everybody's favourite, the Ruger 1022, yeah, so a bear rifle for a Ruger at Shooters World, that'll run you about the 450 to 480 mark ish, around there. And more often than not, they don't have a threaded muzzle. And as you can see, that this Mossberg has a threaded muzzle, so you can put your suppressor on there. Got your threads there, so that's good. That's an extra cost that you don't have to worry about. And of course you can get the Rugers like as a package with a suppressor and stuff, but then like up at Shooters World, that'll run you about the $550 mark, like for a basic one with a suppressor and a 4x32, all the way up to 600 or 700 or even a bit more. So yeah, these here you can regularly find them in like the hunting and fishing shops and that as a package, like for about the $450. And at that price, like, you're ready to go. All you have to do is you have to buy a bit of ammo and you're set. How I've got mine set up here, I've got a Tasco 4-16 by 40 scope on it. And I have a, I believe this is an outdoor, what's called an outdoor outfitter's suppressor. So the rifle was 300, the scope was, the scope and the rings were 150. And the suppressor is a $30 suppressor. So so you're looking at this completely set up less than the $500 mark. The equivalent in a Ruger, I think you'd be looking about the 600 or so. But yeah, I've found that this has been an extremely accurate rifle, and it's been a fun rifle as well. I'm aware that there's people out there, and I'm sort of halfway in this boat, that when you buy something like this, like a 22, you might not actually go hunting with it. You might just use it for target shooting, and I think this is an excellent rifle for that. Like I said, it's an accurate rifle. It's certainly a fun rifle, and I definitely think that that's important if all you're going to be doing with it is sort of having to muck around on the range with it. it's exceptionally reliable. I don't know if you guys noticed when I showed you the action, but this is filthy. I've actually, on purpose, I've put over 2,000 rounds through this, and I haven't actually cleaned it once. And like I did that so I could see how reliable this is, and also when you think about 600 or 700 of those rounds were subsonic, and subsonic ammo is exceptionally dirty. So I've had hardly any failures with this, and it's all been ammo. Really, there's been a few times where I've been shooting a lot and it's heated up and the grind kind of got that sort of like the greasy, like powdery sort of consistency, and I've had a couple hang-ups, but that's because I haven't been cleaning it. But as far as just shooting it as you normally would, just out hunting and things like that, I've had no issues with it. Like I've said, it's extremely accurate. I've actually been able to shoot a couple of deer with this rifle, and I know a lot of you are going to get up in arms about this, but both those times I was out rabbit shooting, and I was saw a deer pop up his head at about 30 metres, and I was able to get a decent rest, and like I knew that I was able to put that round right behind his ear, and I was able to, and it was one shot kill both times. So something else along those lines, if you're not from New Zealand, here the deer are considered a pest, so there's no rules or regulations essentially of how you're allowed to kill them, as long as you do it in a legal sense in the area that you're in. So on both those times that I shot the deer with the 22, I was on private land, so I wasn't under the restrictions of the Department of Conservation. So it's not something that I wouldn't take this out solely as a deer rifle, but if you're ever in a situation like maybe a survival situation where you need to feed yourself or your family and it's all you've got, like the 22 is capable of that. But that's really a conversation for another video. But this rifle's been awesomely accurate, it's been awesomely reliable. It's light, it's handy, especially if you don't have the suppressor on it. Like I said, my scopes, so that's a 4-16, so a lot of you guys will think that's a bit overkill for a 22, but I quite like being able to zoom right in on like on the hares or rabbits or onto targets, because like I said, I do a lot of target shooting. So so I like having a bit of extra scope. So the way I've got this set up, it's not the lightest it could be, but in saying that, it's lighter than my Ruger. And I'm not bashing on the Ruger. I quite like Rugers, but I just think if you can't afford the $500 and up market, and of course we're talking about brand new rifles here. I've seen these mossbergs on the second hand market for about the $150 mark. So all I'm saying is, if you can't afford the higher price of a Ruger, there are other options out there. Everyone says, oh, you need a Ruger, but there are other options out there. So like I say, I really like this rifle. Like I said, I've not had any issues with it. Something else I should mention, this rifle here was actually a gift. So earlier this year, A lot of you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, I've got a reasonably rare illness, and at the start of the year I was in hospital for about 3 weeks, and I've been basically confined to bed for about 3 or 4 months, and I was just having a pretty rough time, and the mate came around to see me, and he was like, "Oh, what can I do to help?" And I jokingly said, "Oh, if you want, you can buy me a rifle." And he said, "Oh yeah, I'll do that." So he's an awesome mate. Thank you. You know who you are. I won't embarrass you with saying all over Facebook and all over YouTube and stuff. But yeah. So this was a gift. I got it as a beer rifle. So I added the scope and the suppressor and so on. But yeah, so I've really liked this rifle so far. What else haven't I said about it? So it comes with a 10 round magazine. This magazine here. Yeah, so that's a 10 rounder. And I've found it really reliable with essentially any so any of the ammo that I've put through it, right from like this, like the cheaper, like of the bulk pack ammo, like it really likes the Federal ammo. Yeah, so I get this up at Shooters Well for $45 for 525 rounds, and I've put over 1,500 rounds of this ammo through that rifle, and it really likes it. Yeah, so it likes the Federal ammo there, and it also really likes the CCI mini mags and also the CCI subsonic. That's what I primarily use as a subsonic, because obviously I'm using the suppressor. Also likes, and it's probably no surprise, it likes the higher quality target ammo, but there's not much of a difference in accuracy from this or that. It's also been reliable with the Winchester bulk ammo, like the 333, 555, all that sort of stuff, which a lot of other rifles aren't reliable with that ammo. So I've been quite happy with that. Yeah, what else? So the fit and the finish of this rifle, I mean, you can't expect it to sort of be super flash, because, like I said, it's only a $300 rifle, but it's certainly good enough. It's made in Brazil. The stock on it's a polymer, and I think it's not too bad for what it is, really. It's got some cut checkering on here, or press checkering, whatever you call it. It's on here for a bit of grip, and I think it works quite well. I've used it with wet hands, with cold hands, and I haven't had any issues with it. So yeah, definitely, in summary, I think that the Mossberg 702 is definitely worth a look if you want to get into hunting. If you don't have heaps of money, like I know, like when I said that this here setup's about $500, and then I said a Ruger for a similar setup is like sort of around the 650. Like a lot of you are saying, oh, that's only $150, but like I said, I have an illness, so I'm unable to work. And like I know there's a lot of other people out there like that, and $150 is actually a lot when you're on a benefit. So that might be the difference of actually being able to get out there and shoot. So, so I'm going to review a few other rifles around that price range that I think are fantastic rifles. But I definitely think that the Mossberg's worth a look. Yeah, so I hope you liked this video. Let me know if it was boring or if it was interesting. So either thumbs up or thumbs down. It'd be great if you leave a comment. And if you haven't subscribed, it'd be awesome if you did. Also, I've just worked out how to put ads up. So if you're able to, if you wanted to take a minute to click on those ads, that means that that eventually I might get a wee bit of money back, which would help me to make more videos. It helps me to pay for ammo, things like that. So that'd be awesome. But yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.